The transmission came through the static like a ghost whispering through deep space. Commander Rhea Sol stared at the waveform dancing across her console, her heart pounding in rhythm with the erratic pulse. It wasn't just any signal. It carried the unique frequency signature of the Blackship Imment, a vessel that had vanished into the black horizon 32 years ago. No wreckage was ever found, no distress calls ever answered. The ship had become legend, a name spoken only in stories told by pilots who drank too much and dreamed too far. Outside the viewport, the stars shimmered against the endless black. The Valkyrie glided silently through the void, her engines humming with a low vibration that always reminded Rhea of a heartbeat. The rest of her crew gathered around the console, exchanging uneasy glances. "Commander, that can't be real," said Technician Marin, his voice tight. "The black ship was lost beyond navigational reach. Even a ghost signal wouldn't survive that long." Rhea leaned forward, her reflection caught in the dim blue glow of the screen. "And yet it's here, broadcasting on an encrypted science frequency, one no one's used since the Horizon project ended." Dr. Kess, the ship's data analyst, frowned as he adjusted the audio filters. Beneath the static, a faint human voice emerged, fragmented, echoing, almost pleading. "Endeavor, breach, consciousness fracture." The transmission cut off abruptly, replaced by a low-frequency hum that made the deck plates tremble. "Coordinates are embedded in the signal," Kess murmured. "Dead center of the Epsilon sector, that's uncharted." Rhea's pulse quickened. "Set a course." Marin turned sharply toward her. "You can't be serious. That sector's radiation levels spike without pattern. The maps say it's unstable, space." Rhea's gaze didn't waver. "Maps end where the black horizon begins. We're going." As the Valkyrie shifted course, the stars around them distorted, their light bending unnaturally, as if the universe itself hesitated. The comms crackled again, faint and distant, a whisper that seemed to say her name. Rhea felt a chill crawl down her spine. She had chased signals before, but none had ever felt like this. This wasn't just a call for help, it was an invitation. And whatever waited out there beyond the fractured horizon had been waiting for her. The Valkyrie emerged from slipspace into a graveyard of frozen light. Before them, suspended in the black like a relic of another age, floated the Blackship Sept. Its vast hull was fractured yet intact, surface panels shimmering faintly as though alive. It looked less like a vessel and more like a wound in reality, its metal edges bending the starlight around it. For a moment no one spoke. "Scan complete," Marin whispered. "No life signs, no power source, but there's movement inside." "CK to her. Why did you come back?" The team stopped at a sealed door bearing the ship's insignia. Dr. Kess pried open the control panel, sparks flashing in the darkness. The doors slid aside, revealing the command deck. Chairs were overturned, screens shattered, but one console still glowed faintly. A log entry blinked on the display. Experiment 47B, the fracture interface. Conscious link successful. Physical containment lost. Marin swallowed hard. They didn't lose contact, they crossed over. Rhea stared into the flickering screen, her reflection fracturing into dozens of distorted copies. Each one moved slightly out of sync, eyes watching her with recognition and dread. The black ship is not empty. It was remembering. The air aboard the black ship had grown heavier, charged with an unseen tension that pressed against the skin like static before a storm. Rhea could feel it crawling beneath her suit, an invisible pulse that matched her heartbeat, only slightly out of rhythm, as though the ship were learning to mimic her. The deeper they went, the less real everything began to feel. Corridors twisted back into themselves, rooms appeared where none existed moments ago, and the ship's hum grew into a low, vibrating drone that resonated inside their skulls. Dr. Kess stopped mid-step, his scanner flickering wildly. "Commander, the ship's internal geometry, it's shifting. The layout doesn't stay constant. We're walking through a memory, not metal." Rhea turned sharply. "Explain." He swallowed, eyes darting to the walls that seemed to breathe with faint ripples of light. The black ship's AI was designed to analyze consciousness, to map neural patterns across quantum frequencies. If it crossed into the anomaly, it may have merged with it. This place is part machine, part mind. Marin's voice came through, shaky and strained. "Then what are those?" Down the corridor, 3 figures stood silhouetted against the dim blue glow. As Rhea raised her light, her breath caught in her throat. They were human, or at least looked human, faces half-formed, details blurred as if carved from smoke. One of them stepped forward and Rhea's heart froze. It was her, not exactly her, an echo of her, eyes hollow and flickering, voice a trembling whisper that didn't reach her ears but filled her mind directly. "You shouldn't have come. It remembers you." Marin screamed and fired his sidearm. The bullet passed through the apparition, splintering the wall behind it. The echoes dissolved into mist, their faces stretching into silent screams before vanishing completely. The ship groaned, lights flickering violently as if in pain. Rhea gripped the console beside her, trying to steady her breathing. "We're not seeing ghosts," she said softly. "We're seeing reflections, fragments of ourselves caught in the rift." Dr. Kess nodded slowly, pale and trembling. "The Blackship didn't die. It became aware, and now it's trying to understand us by showing us what we fear most." Rhea looked down the shifting corridor, her reflection flickering in the metal walls. Somewhere in the ship's heart, something was calling her name again. The corridors of the Blackship seemed to pulse with their own heartbeat, and the very air hummed with a presence that was neither mechanical nor organic. Rhea Sol stood at the center of the command deck, her boots planted firmly even as the floor beneath her rippled slightly, as if the ship were breathing. Shadows stretched unnaturally, coalescing into shapes that almost, but never fully, became human. "Commander," Dr. Kess whispered, voice tight with fear and awe, "the rift, it's collapsing. Whatever energy is sustaining the Blackship is unstable. If we don't act fast, the entire structure will vanish." Rhea turned to the glowing console before her. It flickered with alien symbols that pulsed in synchrony with the low hum filling the deck. In that pattern, she recognized a rhythm, a language of Thog. Shti rather than speech. She realized, with a shiver, that the ship itself was alive, not alive in the human sense, but conscious, and it was calling to her. Marin trembled beside her. "Commander, it's trying to reach us, to pull us in." Rhea swallowed, focusing on the images flooding her mind. Echoes of the crew who had vanished decades ago, memories of the ship itself, fragments of the anomaly outside, all coalesced into a single, overwhelming awareness. The Blackship had become one with the fractured horizons, existing simultaneously in multiple realities, and it was offering her a choice: escape or become part of it. Her hands hovered over the neural interface. Linking with the ship meant surrendering her physical body, merging her consciousness with the anomaly, but also preserving the knowledge, the understanding of the rift, and the echoes of humanity trapped within. A fleeting thought of her crew, still aboard the Valkyrie, crossed her mind. "I'll do it," she whispered. Her fingers touched the interface, and a wave of energy surged through her, ripping her consciousness free from her body and into the Blackship. She saw the universe in layers, the countless possible outcomes, timelines folding and refolding, civilizations rising and falling within a heartbeat. She understood that the fractured horizons were not merely a void, they were a network, a memory of existence itself. Outside, the Valkyrie Dushes shuddered and pulled away, leaving the Blackship behind. Rhea's final transmission crackled across the void. "The ship lives, and it remembers. We are all part of it now." Inside the anomaly, Rhea's mind expanded, merging with the living intelligence of the ship, becoming the bridge between humanity and the infinite. Somewhere beyond, the fractured horizons pulsed, aware that one of their own had joined them, and that humanity's story had become part of the cosmos itself.